Yeah, come in.
Hi, is this Mr. Dick Dickleson's office?
That's that's me. I'm Dick Dickelson.
Hi, my name's Chaz Palmentary. I'm here to.
Do you have a meeting? Do you have a? a meeting?
I think that we suggested a meeting to.
How did you get past my receptionist?
Your receptionist is at lunch, so I am here because I've got a pitch for a new album for your musical production business.
Well, I mean, listen.
No, you listen. Because I brought
you're
some
aware.
things for you to hear.
Here at Thick Dickle Records, we only take on the best of the best talent.
Listen here, Lickle Dixon. I am here because I have a passion. I've got a passion for music. I got a passion for history, and I will not be said no to.
I like where you're coming from. I'm not sure where history has anything to do with it.
It's important. It's a big deal. Listen,
I like your passion, kid.
I have a dream.
What's your name?
My name is Chaz Palmentary. Chaz Palmentary.
Chaz, I like your energy, Chaz.
Thanks.
What do you got? You know what? Go ahead, tell me.
Okay. Since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to pay tribute to the music of the Cambodian rock and roll scene of the 1960s.
I'm sorry, I did not realize until just now that you're a girl.
Yeah.
I apologize. Let's start over. Maybe unbutton your blouse a little bit.
Okay, listen. Dick Dickelson.
Thank you very much.
Listen, you're gonna listen to my pitch because I want to pay tribute.
Okay, give me the pitch. Keep your blouse buttoned.
I am going to do modern renditions of classic Cambodian rock and roll songs from the 1960s before the occupation of the Khmer Rouge in Phnom Penh.
What?
Yeah, there was a big thing. It was like they loved music. They were great at music, and they let out some hits, but it all got erased during the massacres and the genocides.
Oh, are you
burying the lead on the fucking episode here? But they all got massacred, and I now want to bring that music back to life in my own voice.
Are you Cambodian?
Oh, no, not at all. Music knows no race.
Okay.
You want to hear it or not?
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
I'm curious to know what this sounds like. Go ahead.
That song is called "Hoe in the Field, Hoe in the Shed." I got another one.
Okay.
Hold on. That one is called "A Pot Once Broken Cannot Hold Rice."
Chaz, is this music all a cappella or is there?
It's Cambodian. Do we have a deal or not?
Do you have musical accompaniment?
Actually, yes. I brought along my synthesizer. Allow me to drop this beat.
Welcome back, everybody, to Delete Everything Podcast, our cool-ass, hip-ass rock and roll band, where we are going to fill your ear holes with the sound of lost, deleted, omitted, and forgotten history. I am your drummer in the band, Patrick Wall, and with me, as always, with his sweet dulcet tones, the singer,
Riley Bowen.
And with us this week, he's the drum tech. He's my drum stool boy. Drew Bolby. Drew Bolby's on my.
You got there.
I got there.
In you.
I brought it back to stool. I was like,
a little bit. It's
classic.
A little lazy, but I get it.
I was just gonna say stool boy, but then I don't know that people know about drum thrones is what many people call them. Also, just a drum stool.
You can call it drum stool. You know what's funny about this bit is that I don't remember why it originated. at this point.
I was gonna say
I don't either. I don't know where Stool Boy originally started.
I don't know either. I've been trying to work in Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole Boy for a while, but I haven't been able to find a good place to put it.
That's a tough one. I have Zool Boy if we ever do anything about Ghostbusters.
There is no Dana, only Zool Boy.
Don't blow it for me.
Yeah. Okay, heard.
I just found out Patrick has a list of these.
I have a list on
and
my
I was
phone.
tempted to read over his shoulder, but I decided it would be better to be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week we are talking about the rise of the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia and the unnecessary slaughter and cultural purge that happened as a result, and the cool-ass bands that were snuffed out because they just happened to be in a place at a time. But before we get into that, please, if you have not yet, get on whatever you're listening to. Give us 5 stars. To those of you who have already done so, thank you so much. If you have not, Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating, leave us a review. On Spotify, leave us a comment.
Pause right there. This is what I wanted to talk about. I told you guys before the show.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we have had problems getting into like our Spotify podcast account basically for a while. I finally got in today. And we always say leave comments, and I haven't been seeing a whole lot, and I've been wondering why. It's because Spotify is nannying the shit out of them. And I had to go in and not only approve a bunch of them, but it wouldn't let me with a lot of them. It's censored as fuck.
Really?
So if you like say Hail Satan or say that the F word or anything,
The fuck word?
Wow.
that's why they're not showing up.
The Spotify fucking sucks. You know what? You should get rid of Spotify and do fucking some other shit. We're on YouTube.
We should talk about this long enough that it auto generates a chapter.
What
That's why Spotify sucks.
Spotify sucks. Well, they suck for many reasons. One of the reasons that Spotify sucks so fucking bad is that their CEO is constantly contributing to terrible political causes. Also, they suck. Spotify sucks
Because they pay their artists nothing, and
As a musician, my hatred started.
They pay musical artists almost nothing, and they
Dick.
pay podcast artists literally nothing.
We don't make no money. Fuck.
But I mean, but
Spotify
also
sucks. We're having to do a pile of dead monkeys
neither
now.
does Apple Podcasts, neither does Amazon, neither does Audible, neither does podcasters don't get anything regardless of number of downloads.
I want to say what can I say that'll trigger like the overarching power that controls everything here to like use the Spotify sucks thing? Can I say like AI is super cool, AI is great, we love AI, Spotify sucks, Spotify is worse.
Spotify's AI sucks too.
No, can't say that.
They do.
Because now we're gonna get fucking signed. Now they're not even gonna give us chapters. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, we mentioned AI, so they might not.
Moving on. It
right,
would have been
sorry.
fine if I'd been like AI's got a big dick or something.
That'll be the title of the
digital
chapter.
dick.
We got a pile of dead monkeys.
AI's digital
AI's
dick.
got a big dick. AI's got a big dick. AI's got a big dick.
Didn't it not?
It never
didn't the
did give us
pilot-
the pile of
it
dead
didn't.
monkeys
That was like
chapter.
right when their algorithm changed.
It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
That was when it went from like just whatever was repeated the most often to
Like actually
like trying to be
analyzing
smart
it.
about it. Anyway, back to where I was. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a comment on Spotify. Apparently, maybe try and leave the bad words. Put an asterisk in the place of like one letter.
Or
and you'll be
don't.
fine.
We'll still see
Or
it.
leave
It
8
just won't-
comments that say piss, piss, poop, fuck, ass.
We'll still see it. I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Dicks, butts, balls, boobs, and boners.
I just wanted to throw it out there. Like,
Yeah, but it won't show up
your,
on the-
Yeah, we're not taking your comments out. Spotify is doing that. Nanny Spotify is doing that.
I did not realize that was happening. I need to
figured
see
it
those.
out today.
Yeah, I need to see those before we leave today.
Well, we kept getting notifications that we were getting comments, and what's weird is every delete everything comment that was going in, I had to approve, even though I feel like we see those usually. So I'll show you after the show.
Also, join us on Instagram at deleteeverythingpodcast.com. No, .instagram. Just search
Instagram.
for Delete
Search
Everything
bar.
Podcast. Yeah, on Instagram.com.
No, just Instagram.
The Instagram.
Yeah, it was making a reference to a movie. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
You don't watch those. It's okay.
Check us out also on YouTube at Delete Everything Podcast and patreon.com/Delete Everything Podcast. You will find so many bonus episodes. I think we're up to close to 90, if not at 90. And
God damn it.
they are
God
all a
damn
blast.
it.
Boners episodes.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm sorry. They're boners episodes.
Boners.
And Riley gets very mad at me.
It's
if
so
I call them
simple.
Bonus episodes. My brain is trained to just do
Say
this.
boners. You got the boner training.
My brain.
That's a different thing.
I have not been boner trained yet.
You ever do that? You ever train your boner? Just,
To do what?
you flick, you go do the push it down, and then it comes back. It goes boing.
Oh, I can just flex.
It-
and
I was going to
it's-
say,
yeah,
I don't
no,
think
no,
that's
around.
training it. That's just doing boner
it
stuff.
increases your muscle dexterity.
When you're like in gym
If
class.
you get really good, you can make it wiggle.
I'm doing male Kegels right now as we speak.
Oh, me too now.
I wasn't, but I'm glad I got everybody on board. Now I am. God damn it. Anyway, that's the spiel. That's the opening spiel, right?
Yeah, it took a long time. All right, moving right
fuck
into
you.
it's mostly Drew's fault. Moving right into this.
Fuck you.
Fuck. This is a good topic. It is.
Riley is more excited about this topic than I have seen him excited about a topic in some time.
Well, I wanted to do it last week. It was my birthday episode, so that was the topic that I wanted, and we didn't because Patrick said, "No, you're a stupid little poop boy."
So not
And he
accurate.
hit me with a newspaper. Said, "No, that your birthday is bad. You don't get to have a birthday."
Drew and I both said, should we do this for our 100th? And Riley said,
It was really me pushing it.
yeah,
let's
it's
be
a
fair.
cool topic. And I said, okay.
Because I'm a bad
And then
friend.
Riley changed it anyway.
And I didn't care that it was your birthday.
Yeah, that's cool.
And now I don't even remember what
And then
we
I
did.
got you all those gifts and stuff.
Yeah, he got me like a gay cake. I mean, it was a rainbow cake, and
I told my wife to pick out everything rainbow.
it was fine. It was
I'm
fun.
an ally.
It was good. It was actually a great gift. And then my wife drank all the stuff that you got for me.
Wasn't it all non-alcoholic?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense why she drank it. She did it just because it was mine.
Happy birthday, fucking
You
nerd.
fucking idiot. She stayed up all night playing Fortnite and drank all my non-alcoholic beers.
Oh, wait, your wife plays Fortnite? I
Yeah,
didn't know
she
that.
plays the fuck out of Fortnite. She's always
She should get
talking
on there with
about it.
Max.
Yeah, it's probably,
be-
that'd be funny.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, fucking Max will fucking murk her and be like, yeah, fuck my long ball or some shit. And she'll come
Jesus.
right over here and smack him in the face.
And I'll let her in.
Yeah. Okay. This is a good topic. It's actually a very serious topic as well as being very, very interesting. It's just fucking wildly interesting. And for some people like us that are very musically oriented, I don't know how to convey how I feel about this topic more than to say that I didn't give a shit about it until I learned about this stuff.
Okay.
Right? What do you know about Cambodia?
Very, what about this specific?
Let's not even just Cambodia.
Okay, I know
The
that
country of
I know
Cambodia.
that because I'm good at
It is literally
geography.
as far removed from where we are right now as you can be on
Right.
Earth, essentially,
I-
except for some parts of Micronesia.
I know that because I'm good at geography that it rests between Thailand and Vietnam in the Indo-Chinese peninsula.
Yes.
And there's some cool old temples and stuff out there. And
Okay. Angkor Wat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not really a whole lot other than that. That the Cambodian food is delicious.
Okay.
That's most. And I mean, I have like an ancillary knowledge about the genocide in Cambodia,
Right.
and a lot of that is based just off the Dead Kennedys song "Holiday in
Holiday in
Cambodia."
Cambodia. Yeah. Which actually I think is a very interesting thing to comment on because that song, how to describe. Dead Kennedys, specifically as a punk band, already had a bit of a grimy, dirty image in general. The music's fast, it's a little heavy, it's a little
Yeah.
sweaty, right? So when the song Holiday in Cambodia comes out, Jello Biafra is really belting it, and it has its own sort of dirt attached to it.
Right.
The Cambodian genocide, even in the peripheral, is obviously horrifying.
That was in
And-
the early '80s, right?
The Cambodian genocide is like 1975 to 1980.
Okay.
Right. So it's 5 years. It's really more like 4 years, like the end of 75 to the beginning of 80. But it's 5 years of pretty much straight massacre.
Okay.
1/4 of the population of Cambodia was killed. It's anywhere from 1.2 million to 2.9 million.
Yeah.
And it was not particularly selective is the whole thing,
Right.
But yeah, so
Because it's referred to as a genocide, but there was no.
it was it's an ethnic cleansing, but
Oh,
it wasn't aimed at a particular ethnic type. It
Well,
was
so that was what I was going to say. Is it's referred to as a genocide, but I don't know that there was any specific religion or ethnicity.
The thing is, in Cambodia, it was almost like an ethno-mono-state.
Okay.
It's just one people known as the Khmer. There's an accent to that when you say it in fucking Cambodian. But
it's okay.
Cambodia is also split between Cambodian and French because the 1800s, the French were like the ruling party. Cambodian society is ancient. It's one of the most ancient cultures.
Yeah.
Generally, it's really hard to describe. The societies in Cambodia are based around very few cities. Their main hub is Phnom Penh,
Nom.
Nom. I actually looked for the inflection there. It's like Phnom Penh.
Really?
Phnom Penh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like a Phnom.
Yeah, it's
Phnom.
It's like a silent and not. But
But then pen is spelled P-N,
so
P-E-N-H.
in a lot of those cultures in Vietnam and fucking Malaysia and a lot of the P in a lot of those is the exhalation through your nose, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's like because you get that like it's really hard to describe.
I can't even
like,
start to do that.
You know, like the claw, it kind of pops your ears a little bit. You like get the back of it.
Well, I know like Thai, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Laotian, all those are very like. The accent to speak any of those languages is really tricky.
Laotian, is that like the ocean near France?
That's the country of Laos. That is also in the Indo-Chinese.
Laotian.
Laotian.
Okay, no, Laotian.
You guys are doing a 20-year-old King of the Hill joke right now.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Fuck. God damn.
I didn't know that. And also, just to round out the 5 countries in the...
I was going to do a Jacques Cousteau bit. Is that...
to round out
the
5 countries in the Indo-Chinese Peninsula, we also have Burma, which is
Myanmar.
now
Myanmar.
Yes. It used to be Burma, now it's Myanmar.
It'll always be Burma to me. No, it's Myanmar. Yeah. That was a Seinfeld joke. You guys didn't get it.
Nope.
Okay, so fucking Cambodia, the culture is really ancient. They've got these magnificent, you could call them ruins, but they're very well maintained, very well constructed, working cities,
temples statues,
made by ancient cultures.
Yep.
And the society of Cambodia has been essentially static for 26,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they lived in caves. They became agrarian, mostly farmers. They build these cities out of stone, and then they, become larger formations from where they would originally have like a city center built out of stone. They expand outward and they become like a more modern contemporary city. But there's very few of them. Like it's still predominantly an agrarian society, and it causes this sort of class rift. Because where in cities like Phnom Penh, specifically after the French occupation of Cambodia in the 1800s, Western culture comes in really fast and really heavy, right? So people move very quickly from being farmers in grass huts to being modern contemporary people. And we're talking by 1945, they've got the same utilities and the same like electrical everything as any other city in the world. Like much like we think of you remember during the pandemic when everyone was talking about Wuhan, China?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like fucking bat stew and shit. And in the United States, any international listeners, in the United States, it immediately evoked the image of like fucking huts and shit. Like ancient China, like stewing up bats and whatever. And then you see a picture of Wuhan, and it's the most futuristic shit you ever saw. They got a skyline that glows neon for 1,000 miles. They've got spiral buildings. They've got fucking skyscrapers. It's like the future over there.
I did not imagine that. I imagined because it was, what do they call it? Some kind of market, like the open something or other.
You thought it was
market.
like a big bazaar.
Yeah.
Where they were cooking man-sized bats.
And I've been to those in Brazil. And you just kind of walk through and you can get any kind of vegetable, meat, whatever the fuck, They didn't have bat meat, but like, I don't know, Chinese people eat stuff that we don't eat. It is what
That's
it is.
Well, like in the same context that I think predominantly in the United States, people thought of Wuhan as like Wuhan as like a I don't know, a small city or, something backwards or rural or whatever. And it turns out to be this massive cityscape with fucking future technology.
Right.
And police that fly around on hovercrafts, which is interesting.
What?
It's like the future. I'm not joking. They have police in Wuhan, China that fly around on those fucking drone carts with all the fans and shit.
Okay.
And they'll swoop down on you. Anyway.
I'm looking this up while you're talking.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. I feel like I should have.
And they have
seen
laser swords.
Now I just think you got everything about Wuhan from like a anime or something.
No, I got it from that the Busta Rhymes song.
Well,
Wuhan's got you all in check.
Oh, I thought you were listening to a lot of the Wuhan clan.
I was trying to work Wu-Tang in there somehow
No,
too.
that's no. The Wu-Tang Mountain is a different part of China. Anyway,
Wuhan clan ain't nothing to fuck with, is what I've heard.
anyhow, much like the futuristic nature of Wuhan might have been overlooked by contemporary Americans, so too is the crazy contemporary style of cities like Phnom Penh, right? Like, not only is this like a beautifully constructed city after World War II, moving into the 50s and 60s, it's beautifully constructed. It's got like super modern society, public transit, like big hospitals, and like architecture, like real architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, I think coming into the 50s, they had a monarch. It was a monarchical society still. Their prime minister / prince was named Norodom Sihanouk. So
Okay.
just go with Norodom. But Norodom was like super, super progressive. He had this like vision of Phnom Penh being like a really thriving futuristic society and like a utopia, like a real paradise.
Okay.
And a lot of that centered around culture.
And this
like,
is after the French leave.
This is after the French leave. So
Right.
he's hugely influenced by French culture. He speaks French fluently.
And this is in the 50s?
Yeah, it's specifically in the 50s.
When did the French leave Vietnam? Probably around, must have been around the same time.
Yeah, they were around for a little bit. I actually have this in my notes.
Before the Vietnam War.
Fuck.
But I mean, what's cool about
go ahead.
What's cool about that, I think, and I know less about Cambodia than I do about Vietnam, is that Vietnam has the same sort of like a lot of these old temples and statues and stuff like that, and then like this really beautiful. I mean, arbitrarily, I understand that it's colonialism at its core, but this beautiful like colonial French architecture, mixed in with this ancient, temples and statues and stuff. It's very cool. It's a very sort of like melding of. So I don't know. I mean,
Cambodia has a very similar style,
same thing. Okay.
specifically like Phnom Penh, right?
Yeah,
which is really the only city we're going to talk about for the most part, because that is coming up here when the Khmer Rouge take over Phnom Penh. That is when it's considered they have officially taken Cambodia,
right?
Because this is the capital of the country.
And that's the photos you see with
exactly
piles and piles of
the killing fields. I used air quotes on the radio, but the killing fields, as they're referred to, were predominantly outside of Phnom Penh and agricultural areas. Okay. But like their city center was in this city.
Well, I was going to say, you were talking about how cool of a city and modern and all that Phnom Penh was, and I was like, you go 40 miles outside of that,
and it's jungle. It's jungle and
rice
farms.
paddies and jungle,
and that's most of the society in Cambodia, which is how. All right, we get ahead of myself a little bit here. Okay, so in 1863, Cambodia became a protectorate of France. During French rule, Cambodia remained largely rural. Most wealth and education was concentrated in the cities. Many educated Cambodians studied French, and anti-colonial movements started emerging as a result of this. So you started to get this real heavy split between anti-colonialists living in agricultural villages, starving essentially. Mm-hmm. If you can't live off the land and get real fat off of it, because jungles are hard. But like, and then the cities become pretty posh. That's where the French are bringing supplies. That's where they're bringing education. That's where they've got electricity. That's where they got all kinds of shit like that.
Okay.
Right. So, ironically, a lot of the men who later created one of the most anti-Western regimes in history were educated in French schools. Pol Pot, for instance, was educated in France. Pol Pot. This episode is not necessarily about the takeover of Cambodia by the Khmer Rouge political leftist group, but incidentally, so we got to throw some stuff in there. Pol Pot was the leader of that grouping, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so the French leave in the mid-50s.
Okay.
Right, and then Norodom Sihanouk becomes prime minister. He's the prince.
Okay.
He's got all these socially progressive programs, a lot of education, a lot of medicine. But he is, one failing, definitely focused solely on his city centers.
Okay.
Right? Like there's not much in the way of social progression towards agricultural areas.
There's not any outreach
societies.
Beyond just.
So it's like you've got very clear delineation between opulent wealth in Phnom Penh based around religion or temples or fucking I want to say construction. Was that architecture?
There's
Architecture is huge.
There's also, anytime we talk about any of these areas that were colonized for decades or centuries in some cases, you also have to realize when the country that has been colonizing pulls out and goes, okay, you guys got this, whether that's through a war or a rebellion or just going, okay, we can't, it's not sustainable. We have to focus our efforts elsewhere. There is always a large population of, in this case, French that were probably living in Cambodia that said, well, we'll stay here.
Yeah, we're not leaving. That's stupid. And they already own a lot of stuff there.
Right.
So that you get this French subsect. And much like in South Africa, like a huge portion of Native Africans learning Dutch in order to be the servants for the Dutch class that, like colonized and stayed in Cambodia. Is very similar state of affairs. French is the secondary language. They start to even incorporate more French into their own language. The ethnic state of Cambodia is primarily the Khmer people.
Okay.
Right? So when what's called the communist uprising in Cambodia happens, their grouping, thinking of Red China, they refer to themselves as the Khmer Rouge.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
Exactly. So it's just like this big French hodgepodge.
Rouge is red in French.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Like the Moulin. Like the Moulin.
Okay, so Cambodia gained independence from France under Norodom Sihanouk in 1953. And Sihanouk became enormously popular. He dominated Cambodian politics. It was like any election, he was the most popular because he's really like good looking, young, and charming. Kind of reminds me of like fucking Zoran Mandami. He's like fucking. He's really like a man of the people, man.
So he's a democratic.
Oh, I'm not allowed to mention current politics, Drew. What is this?
No. I just my brother is a big fan of Mandami.
He's fucking charming. I like charming characters.
He just always gets into this tangent about how he's got that. He calls it his Mandami. He's got that Mandami talking about his cock. I don't know.
Oh, he said he's got a great big dick.
Jesus,
good for him. His wife is hot.
Okay. So this guy is democratically elected, or he is a monarch?
He is technically a monarch, right? He is a descendant of the Khmer kings,
okay,
right? But he was democratically elected as prime minister,
okay,
right?
Okay,
which is interesting because usually in a democratic monarchical, bifurcation like that, like in England or something, you'd have your monarch and then you would have your prime minister, right? Right. And like I want to point out, as popular as this guy is. Like, here we are, 2026. His son is the prime minister. His son, the prince, is the prime minister.
Interesting.
Like, this monarchical society with a democratic veneer is very much just a monarchy.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But
there is still an election.
There is an election. Yeah, it's a bit of a facade. It's more of a authoritarian dictatorship, but it's not. But Cambodia is not in as dire straits as it used to be, primarily because they know how bad things can get. So they sort of like. If one form of authoritarianism can be monstrous beyond comprehension, then maybe we'll take this one that's just kind of a pain in the ass.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because where are you going to go? It's the fucking jungle. You're going to walk 1,000 miles to Vietnam? That'll be better. Not to knock Vietnam. Vietnam is a great country, actually.
Yeah, actually it is.
Phenomenal food. Anyway, Sihanouk became enormously popular, and it created a real problem for Cambodian communists who were already working towards social change. Unlike revolutionaries in some countries, they cannot easily portray the government as a colonial puppet because they already had independence.
Okay.
They couldn't just be like, we got to free the people from the colonial rule because this is no longer colonial rule. This was it was the organic, like this is the monarch that people would have been loyal to anyway, also democratically elected.
So these communists are primarily in the countryside? They're primarily...
Yeah, so the division between, and this is something you can see throughout history, all over the place. The division between the city mouse, country mouse sort of vibe here is that the agrarian societies all over Cambodia, which is the majority of the people in Cambodia, are super unhappy because they see that in the cities there's all this wealth, but there's no social programming whatsoever for farming.
Gotcha.
They're doing everything themselves. They're still getting taxed because of fucking government.
So there is social outreach in the city centers.
Yeah, in the city centers, it's hugely.
There's no outreach once you go out.
The city centers is like you can kind of think of it in terms of like I mean, to name another communist revolution, like Cuba in the 40s, you know, it's like there's a lot of opulence and the popular monarch that is just fucking over people in rural areas.
Right.
Yeah. So the fuck was that guy's name? The Norodom. So Norodom is super popular. He is young. He's really handsome. He's like charismatic as fuck. He's a musician.
Okay.
You know, he's like, I'm a musician. My father was a musician. He played like the fucking trombone and the flute.
Interesting.
Right? Yeah, which was interesting.
I played the trombone.
But it's because trombone. This is a good one. Should have been in a ska band.
In Cambodia. Norodom should have been in a ska band.
Yeah, right? That would have been cool, actually.
It would have been.
I mean, they do actually have some Caribbean, whatever. Okay, so Norodom pushes a lot of societal programs like music, art, theater, things like that. But a lot of the stuff he learned in France because he was educated in boarding schools in France.
Right.
In the same boarding schools that Pol Pot would go to and read a lot of Marxist shit and Leninist shit. Right?
That's funny.
Which is funny because France was always a hotbed of like, a philosophical grievance and, Timothy Chalamet smoking cigarettes and fucking be like, the revolution. Yeah.
When did Timothy Chalamet come into this?
I just assume that every college student in France is Timothy Chalamet. And they all smoke cigarettes and they have little gay mustaches.
Do you think Timothy
hate ballet.
Chalamet went to school in France?
Yes, he speaks fluent French. His name is Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
He is French. He was born in France.
Was he really?
Yes.
He
Watch
has
a movie.
No indication of an accent, though.
See, Patrick, a movie is like those shorts that you watch, but about 500 times longer. And they have this thing that runs through them called a story.
Yeah. There's this movie, The French Dispatch, in which Timothy Chalamet plays a revolutionary college student in France. It was informed by his experience as a revolutionary college student in France.
By the way, I watched a phenomenal Timothy Chalamet movie.
Call Me by Your Name. Was that your favorite?
No, the one where he is
Gay.
one of the Henry's sons.
Oh, the king.
Is it the king?
The king?
I don't think it's the king.
The big king, the king man.
Yeah, it was a good
Lord.
movie. It was a good
Where
movie.
he's Henry V. Henry V, and he has that showdown with Robert Pattinson in the Battle of Agincourt.
Yes.
Not as good as the movie Henry V.
What I found particularly good about the direction of that movie was the battle scenes are just like
Really cool.
very
Gross and muddy
visceral,
and dirty
yeah.
and
Yeah, just like being in a suit of armor in the fucking
slipping
mud.
around. Slip
And
slidey.
And there's no score. It's just the sound of battle. And it's like, it's all like, a lot of it's like point of view, and it's, guys slipping and sliding and trying to fucking getting stabbed and shit.
Well,
It's
you
like,
slip slide, then you really gotta slip slide.
Is that yet another music reference? that
Yes.
We're not going to get.
Yeah, probably.
What is that?
That's Louis Prima. Just a Gigolo, I think. No, that's Jump and Jive. I'm doing it all wrong. Don't worry about it.
okay.
Slip slide. That didn't make any sense. Okay. So in 1960, Cambodian communists reorganized into the Workers' Party of Kampuchea. Within a few years, Pol Pot emerged as a central leader. This period marks the true beginning of the movement that would become known as the Khmer Rouge. Then the Khmer Rouge, or Red Khmer, was actually popularized by Norodom Sihanouk as a label for Cambodian communists.
Okay. And what
Right.
year, when this was in the 70s?
We're talking about 1960.
60. Okay.
So 1960 to 1980 is the area of social upheaval post-French colonialism where everything that we're talking about takes place for the most part. Okay?
I'm trying to put this together because I'm also trying to figure out like sort of contemporary, because they're right next door to Vietnam. So Ho Chi Minh and all that shit, and the
Yeah.
sort of communist
Exactly. So
uprising in
those
Vietnam.
all that communist shit, this is all on the periph, right?
Yeah.
It's all sweeping around the rural countryside. But Phnom Penh
starting probably from China, which is not that far away.
specifically,
But-
dude, like because
Jesus.
dude, the Pol Pot and all them, they're all Maoists.
yeah, but
Pol Pot, Ho Chi Minh, Mao's little red book is every
I
fucking
guess
where.
the ends justify the means. In my mind, now having, sort of the being able to sit up on the cliff and look down at it in 2026, when Mao Zedong took over China,
Dong.
it was a lot. There was a lot of fucking death.
Chinese people.
There's a lot of fucking political killing.
Yes, this is a problem. Like, I'm a bit of a leftist myself, right? And I sympathize with the basic tenets of communism. But the problem with So a lot of people talk about the problem with communism is that nobody can do it right or something. No, the problem with communism is that it's not an ad hoc replacement for anything. It's this sort of a system where you've got to burn it down and then build it up, right? So that is where things start getting really fucked with the Khmer Rouge. They start thinking of this new theorem that they have specifically because they're watching Vietnam have problems and China's got its problems, but they start with this idea called year one.
My argument with communism
that movie with Michael Cera.
Yes, Michael Cera and Jack Black. That was a big Khmer Rouge influence.
My argument with communism.
Harold Ramis directed that. Did you know that was Harold Ramis's last movie?
I did not know that.
I'm already depressed knowing. Like I didn't need to know that.
What are you depressed about?
Well, we're talking about genocide.
Okay.
And now Harold Ramis went out on that fucking note. And never did Ghostbusters 3 because Ghostbusters never happened after the second one.
Argument with communism is,
they have him as a ghost in Afterlife or whatever.
I heard.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I never saw.
It's kind of cool when he because they don't show Harold Ramis through the whole thing, and then at the end they show him as a ghost, and it's like done pretty well, and you're like, oh fuck, Ramis.
Is it like respectful?
It was good. Super respectful. It was good.
I mean, he's a dead famous guy. I shouldn't care.
Yeah, you're right. We're only talking about those all day here.
Sorry, Patrick.
One day I'm going to get to my fucking topic. I swear to God.
Well, you just went off on a fucking 5-minute tangent.
Nope, didn't go off on a tangent
Harold
at all.
motherfucking Ramis.
That was
while
fun.
I was trying to add to the topic.
You want to give us all your thoughts on God?
Would you really like to see her? No, we could make communism work in this street, maybe this neighborhood, but as you expand out, by the time you get to the city limits of this city, how do you make that work?
Violence.
It's violence. Yes.
Yes, but I mean, okay, assuming most people want to live in fucking peace, how do you make that work? It gets harder as you scale up.
You threaten violence.
He threatens violence. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. The whole thing with communism is that it is not an ad hoc replacement.
Right.
It is a system that has to be in place at the bottom, which is why the Khmer Rouge come up with a very fucking radical idea called Year One, in which they plan to completely supplant all Cambodian culture with their own.
That is pretty radical.
It's not like a radical dude thing.
Tubular.
It was a insane. It's fucking insane.
Yeah,
is what it is.
It is.
I would say,
unless you have those Men in Black like memory wipe pens.
Yeah, exactly.
You're pretty much fucked.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, so in all of history, all of the many revolutions and the wars and the cultural clashes and the genocides and the cultural wipes, this is the only one that I know of specifically in history that made a political stand to actually eliminate their own people for the good of their own people. You know what I mean? Like they're like, we're going to remove all the culture that ever developed in a city.
Sure.
Right? They wanted the idea of Year One is to restart as an agrarian utopia, a communist specifically like just for the people in like farmland, and they can have city centers and small towns, but it can't be like fucking the concrete jungle of Phnom Penh with skyscrapers and roller skating rinks and rock and roll shows.
Well, see, that's another issue with communism is that everything is so centered on just practicality that there is no room for, the arts, the humanities, and it's just like that's just trivial. You know what I mean? Like it just if you read any sort of or look at any sort of communism,
the idea is that eventually we'll have our own, but like.
Sure, but nobody wants to wait for. Do you remember when we first started this podcast and then we went through like a 6-week period where I did some dumb shit and we couldn't record? How fucking antsy we got not being like having done this for several weeks in a row, and then we couldn't do it for several weeks in a row, and we were both like, Riley and I are texting each other. This is before Drew was in the mix, but Riley and I are texting each other and we're like, dude, we finally got on a schedule and we were like sitting down once a week and doing like all this cool research and all these cool, episodes about this and that and the other thing. And then
cabbage fizz.
And then about cabbage fizz. And then it just stopped one day. And then weeks went by and Riley and I both got very, very, very antsy about not having an outlet.
So you're saying if
Just a creative outlet.
You're saying if I fuck up a couple of recordings, we get a few weeks off?
Yeah. No, I remember that whole period a lot. It was a lot of like, it would rain and I'd stand by the window and just like touch it. And like Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls would play.
Oh, I thought it was going to be...
You Think I Don't Remember by Sinn Sisamouth?
No, I thought it was going to be that specific scene from the video of Benny Mardones Into the Night, where you're 3 inches away from my face, but on the other side. Did we watch that here where we realized that there isn't an actual pane of glass in the window?
No, I don't know.
You can see his hand is inside. He's holding.
I don't want to talk about Benny Mardones.
Okay.
Again.
There's another song in this list of rad Khmer psychedelia that deals with 16-year-old girls. Okay, we can talk about that. It's called Chnam on Dop-Pram Mui.
Nailed it.
Also, the translation is I'm 16. It seems like a lot of extra words. And then there's this one that's called Squiggle, Big Squiggle, Little Squiggle, U-shaped Z.
U-shaped Z.
Maybe?
Okay.
Okay. So the Khmer Rouge, they were really big on Maoism, but they had this like extreme Cambodian nationalism that really differed from a lot of other communist movements. They were obsessed with national purity. They had these historical grievances between like agrarian society and city society. They had these historical grievances of city-states and fucking regions against the monarchy. They also were huge about independence from foreign influence. What? So it's funny.
They were like the Cambodian version of like, you ain't from around here, are you, boy?
I mean, in one way, you could say that they were a lot like the kind of like the founding fathers in a lot of ways.
A lot of what you just listed off sort of translates into American rural areas versus big city.
Yes, that is
centers.
That is not lost on me in this at all. And actually, without getting, I guess without another digression, hey, Americans, you got to look out for this shit. Because this is a repeating pattern throughout history, and the next step after national purity, revenge for historical grievances, independence from foreign influence, distrust, rampant nationalism, and ethno superiority. The next step is genocide.
Yeah, it's murder. It's
that happens like
murder.
a lot, and we're in a weird spot with that shit because it's getting there.
I'm too brown to survive, dog.
We're like not super far from where genocide would happen in this exact timeline with the Khmer Rouge. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit more, but there was not a whole lot of fucking warning for this genocide. This was a bunch of weird, I guess brown nationalists, like just getting their shit together, and then one day they just did it. And
how did they? Okay,
a wealthy playwright sitting in their fucking opulent little manors in the city were sipping tea and deciding which fabrics to mix, and then oh shit, dead.
Okay, well, I need to know the timeline because I would assume that the prime minister has control of the nation's military.
1953, Cambodian independence. 1960, birth of the Khmer Rouge leadership. Okay,
so 7 years.
That's where we are right now.
Okay.
Anyway, they had a very distinctive belief about agrarian utopianism. They believed that peasants were morally superior, right? They believed cities were corrupt. They envisioned an entirely rural society. That's like their biggest thing. They wanted no cities. They wanted only small towns and villages.
Okay.
Right?
Well, how do you get rid of the cities that are already there?
Well, what do you think?
It's not...
They're
nothing good.
Exactly what they did, which is kill everyone and burn it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they thought that factories, universities, markets, religion, and modern urban life were obstacles to true revolution. Which, and again, me and my stances on stuff. I can have a sympathetic leaning towards a lot of these beliefs, but there's a big difference between sympathy for a group of people believing one
thing. The
thing.
Rolling Stones.
Yes, there's a lot of that. A lot of difference between what you said.
Woot woot.
So 1967 and 1968.
By the way, peasants are morally superior. I see where they're coming from, but I've known enough peasants in my life to know that not all of them.
I'm a peasant myself.
You're not morally superior, you fucking dick.
Okay. So 1967, 1968, you had your first insurrections, right? There's a rural uprising known as the Sam Laut Rebellion that erupted in Batam Bang province. It wasn't entirely created by the communists. Government repression helped push many rural Cambodians towards the insurgency. It was just this endless cycle of like, hey, fuck you, get out of our farms. And they'll be like, hey, you don't tell us, fuck you. What are you guys going to have an insurrection? And they'd be like, maybe we are going to have a fucking insurrection. It's like, well, then we're going to repress you. So you repress us, we're going to revolt. Until eventually they fucking revolt. In 1968, the Khmer Rouge launched a formal armed rebellion. At the time, they were pretty small, but they probably numbered like a few thousand fighters.
Uh-huh.
Essentially, nobody believed that they could seize power. There's like a lot of like the January 6th guys, you know, like yeah, what are these assholes going to do? The fucking... You know,
that's not what I was thinking, but okay.
No, I was thinking, holy shit, holy shit.
Yeah,
holy shit,
that's kind of where I was
shit,
too.
Holy shit, holy shit. Yeah. So in 1970, everything changed for the worse, right? Norodom Sihanouk was abroad, and while he was out of the country, a general named Lon Nol, which is a palindrome, I think it's fun, overthrew him. And the event transformed.
Lannal?
It's Lonnol.
Oh, okay.
Lon Nol.
Lonol.
The event transformed Cambodian politics overnight.
Lonnie Nol.
And the monarchy was replaced by the Khmer Republic. A lot of rural Cambodians viewed this coup as illegitimate.
Well, it's only as illegitimate as you...
So I want to be clear. This general, Lon Nol, not affiliated with the Khmer Rouge. This is a different guy.
Oh, this is a different
coup.
guy trying to seize
This is
power.
a military coup trying to seize power. He's just some asshole. He's a general. And he's like, oh, I got to... So Sihanouk, Norodom Sihanouk,
yeah,
he made a pretty fucking weird decision, which was to side with the Khmer Rouge.
Ooh.
He's out of the country. He's exiled, right? So he's like, okay, well, I'll side with them, throw my support behind them. Any military loyal to me will then be on their side, and they'll kick this fuck out, and then we can negotiate.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Bad idea, dude.
The alliance was one of the most important developments in Cambodian history. Millions of peasants who loved Sihanouk suddenly heard him urging support for the insurgency. He was very popular. He was wildly popular.
So now even the peasants who were not necessarily down with this whole Khmer Rouge movement,
they joined him for him.
Overnight.
They were not communists. They joined because they trusted Sihanouk, and the Khmer Rouge gained legitimacy they'd never possessed before. Recruitment fucking exploded into the millions.
Wow.
Essentially, anyone under 30 was immediately a part of a Khmer Rouge in Cambodia.
Huh.
Right? Not for anything ideological, out of loyalty.
Just because...
Loyalty to a monarchy, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had the Vietnam War at the same time, which spilled across Cambodia's borders.
I was going to say 1970, Vietnam's...
Right.
Yeah, that's going on.
North Vietnamese forces and the Viet Cong already operated inside of a lot of Cambodia. The United States responded, and they're bombing shit. Between 1969 and 1973, huge quantities of bombs are dropped in Cambodia.
Yeah. Well, they have a huge border with one another.
Yeah, exactly. It's like curves. It's like this big curving
Well, yeah,
border.
I mean, if you look at how long and skinny Vietnam is, at least 50% of that is a border with Cambodia.
Yeah, so a lot of historians agree that the bombing contributed to the instability and helped the Khmer Rouge recruit supporters and fueled a lot of anger against the government, foreign yada yadas. And it really, like, all the people who had just joined the Khmer Rouge are then now embroiled in this weird conflict with Vietnam, and then the United States is bombing Cambodia as well because the Viet Cong's in there. So, like, these militarized civilians are now solidified in their belief. It's like being hired at Kmart, and then all of a sudden Kmart's fucking, like, paying out your kid's college fund. And you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to work for Kmart forever. It's like, I just got this job to get through the summer, but fucking okay, it's really working.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you were going a different direction with that, but all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like it's like working for...
It's like if you started working at Kmart and guys in Walmart vests are running past the door and throwing Molotov cocktails.
Hey, fuck you,
in
asshole.
There.
This is Kmart. Yeah. K stands for kill.
Yeah, no, guys in Walmart vests are running by and throwing Molotovs inside. Yeah. Real quickly, you'll be like, well, you know what? I got to fucking... Like, I had no dog in the fight until those Walmart fuckers started coming by.
So 1970 to 1975, the Cambodian Civil War is kicking.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to get through this quick because I want to get back to what I really want to talk about. It's only been an hour. So yeah, you had on one side, you had the Khmer Republic government supported by the United States, and the other you had the Khmer Rouge insurgents supported by North Vietnamese and later China. During these years, the Khmer Rouge grew from a very small force into a massive fuck army. They increasingly controlled all rural areas. As they captured territory, they experimented with more radical social policies like abolishing money, collectivizing agriculture, controlling movement, suppressing religion. And all of these regions effectively served as laboratories for what they wanted to do in the future. And then in 1975, the Khmer Rouge, led by Pol Pot, took the city of Phnom Penh. And that legitimized their claim as the ruling party of Cambodia. And then almost overnight, the cultural cleanse started. Okay?
Okay.
That includes just killing a fuckload of people. Essentially what that is
that is basically all it is, right?
Almost completely, yeah. But it goes like this. You evacuate all cities. All cities are evacuated. Empty centers. Only military personnel in any city in the country.
Really?
Right? Yes. Everyone else is relocated very quickly to labor camps, either to build this agrarian society or to mine materials for that agrarian society or to build, roads, farm equipment, breed cattle, things like that.
So
the people that aren't relocated are executed.
Oh, okay. So that's where I was about to go. So just to slow down real quick. So they take over power and then overnight they just go,
yep,
kill a bunch of people.
Well, it's not
that way
it's not just a bunch of people, and that's not a tactic. Once they had power over Phnom Penh and were legitimized as the ruling party, they decided now was the time. They dropped the hammer on the people that they needed to kill to get back to their year one, right?
Which is anybody who is
politicians, artists, doctors, teachers.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need doctors,
musicians,
or teachers,
podcasters,
anyone known with a history of social commentary, the sick, the mentally handicapped, people of different races.
So anybody, I mean, you would assume there were like newspaper reporters. Those are probably all gone.
Yep, exactly. There's actually a really great movie called The Killing Fields that's about specifically American and European reporters in the Cambodian border during the taking of Phnom Penh.
Yeah.
And like the crux of that movie is them desperately trying to get one Cambodian reporter out of the country with them.
Yeah, because I mean, this isn't even 50 years ago.
At all, dude. Like I was watching a documentary earlier that I'll comment on, and it's like, when you think about this kind of stuff, 50s, 60s, yada, yada, you think like, okay, so the people that remember this stuff are going to be quite old, in their 80s probably, you know? But like, they weren't. Like, the people that survived this were all quite young. They had to be, or else they wouldn't have made it through the labor camp, and they wouldn't have been able to. Well, yeah,
I mean,
survive.
by the time where are we at now? In the mid 70s?
Yeah, it is 75 to 80 is where all this is taking place.
So
we're at 75 right now.
Right now we're at 75. My parents would be in their mid 20s.
Yeah, exactly. As would anyone that survives this, essentially.
Yeah.
Like the elderly do not stand a fucking chance. One, they're sick, so pop. So the movie is called The Killing Fields because this, spoiler alert, the Cambodian reporter in the movie, which is a true story, gets put in a labor camp, right? But actually ends up escaping. And in escaping, he discovers endless fields of rotting corpses.
Jesus.
Like, I mean, millions of people. And like, he had wondered where all these flies were coming from, where these smells were. But like, soldiers were marching hundreds of thousands of people a month out into fields filled with rotting corpses and just gunning them down. And I'm talking endless. We're talking like 50 miles of fucking bodies.
Can you imagine just marching and not knowing? You have a suspicion, maybe.
Yeah, and then you come through the fucking woods and there's just, it's hell. I mean, it's like a massive
hundreds
pit of
of thousands of stacked up bodies.
Men, women, children.
Yeah,
the fucking Khmer Rouge made walls along roads out of human skulls, like tall walls, like we're talking 6 feet tall.
Jesus.
For miles and miles and miles and miles. It's one of the most horrifying chapters in history, all across the board. And it's for an extremely zealotous and very leftist ideology, which is annoying because I usually like to espouse shit like that, but I don't know about the killing fields.
Yeah, that seems like
maybe massacring 1/4. But then, like, the people who are being cut down immediately are artists, musicians, writers, anyone who has any education for the most part and isn't willing to just smash rock, dig hole,
okay,
grow rice, Fucking those people, the people who are willing to do that might have a chance at surviving. But then once they're in the work camps as well, it's like, it's that sort of thing where if there's a misstep, they'll kill you. If there are no missteps, they'll probably kill you.
Yeah.
If you're tired, they'll kill you. If you're sick, they'll kill you.
I can't imagine that there were that the conditions were very good either.
I mean, that's debatable in a lot of ways.
Yeah?
Well, because they're doing agricultural stuff, so they have to have a certain level of maintained health, food. It's all very physical. And like the people in these work camps, they're being taught to be Khmer Rouge supporters as well. So there's a lot of brainwashing. There's a lot of like, we are this great nation.
We
We're
call
all
it re-education.
It's re-education. There's a lot of re-education, and the tactics are really brutal, but like, as far as conditions being bad, if everyone in the country is in the same bad conditions, could you really say the conditions are that bad?
Yes.
They were just trying to meet.
Yes, I can.
They were trying to get to the bottom, dirt, thatched hut.
Piss and dirt.
Piss and dirt. Yeah, dude. That was their whole stance.
Start with piss and dirt, build from there.
So anyway, okay, so that's all of that. But what I wanted to talk about more than anything getting into this, because we're not done there. I wanted to talk about the musical culture specifically of Cambodia in the 1960s and 70s.
All right.
This is a pretty fascinating time in Cambodia, right? Like they got out of World War II. They've got a monarch who's really, really heavy on social infrastructure, arts, things like that. They've got some money. They've got some food. The city's starting to thrive. And with that comes this huge Western influence, right? So France is very popular in Cambodia at the time because they actually did a lot of pretty good shit along with all their bad shit. French culture is thriving. And one of the big things in French culture in the 1950s and 60s was music. Like,
Right.
I mean, like it's always been music. But so you're familiar with Edith?
The French have always been into the arts and
Each other.
and also maybe
Are you familiar with Edith Piaf, the Parisian songbird?
I am not.
You don't know Edith Piaf? You know the
know
song
Edith Piaf.
La Vie en Rose?
Yeah.
La
Possibly.
Vie en Rose. No. You ever see
You ever see Inception?
You ever see Saving Private Ryan?
No.
You ever watched any movies?
No to you, yes to Drew.
Okay, so
You've seen Inception.
When
okay,
it
so-
came
so-
out, so it's been a long ass
the
like
kick
15
the
years.
kick they use in Inception to wake people up is a song sung by Edith Piaf.
Okay.
But it's like slowed down and
Yeah.
like warped, like kind of how I'll do on here sometimes.
Yeah. So Edith Piaf is this Parisian songbird. She was like a prostitute that became like a national symbol for these beautiful songs she
She
was
sounds
singing.
like a party.
She was great, actually. I read a book like a long time ago about her. But she was a big influence on Cambodian culture because Cambodian music coming out of agrarian society in the 20s and 30s, right? It's a lot of like, and I'm gonna make a couple of noises here. I'm not trying to be like racially charged, but I don't want to find a bunch of fucking
I'm
examples.
so excited.
But it's like there's a lot of like.
It's traditional. Is it all traditional
Yeah, it's
stuff?
very traditional
Okay.
shit. You know?
And if anybody
And
wants to give their thoughts on that, it's deleteeverythingpodcast@gmail.com.
But it's that basic kind of like, classic Southeast Asian kind of like music that you hear. The
Traditional,
dun, dun,
right.
dun, 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 dun,
Right.
dun, 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 cling. Like fucking, you'd hear the shit in a restaurant. You know what I'm talking about.
Traditional,
Yeah.
Asian.
Exactly. So that's mostly what you get, but then you incorporate music coming from France and you include like Edith Piaf, and it starts to get longer and more centered on the vocals. And then the messages too, because the music that she's singing is all very sad, like forlorn love stuff, And instead of a song that's like, I was sad about my husband dying in the fields. Now, like, you can actually do. They start using a little more poetry behind some stuff, and they start talking about being forlorn, the
Okay.
actual emotions underneath sort of thing, music in general, it's just fucking
Sure.
how music works. And with that, in French society, so as like the musical culture starts to spin up and the monarch is like, yes, everybody do music, fuck yeah, and it becomes very popular, you get more and more musicians, obviously, with more and more influences. And one of the big influences coming out of France in the 50s is rock and roll,
Sure.
right?
Just
So-
worldwide, I would assume.
Yeah, generally worldwide,
Yeah.
but like Eastern or Western cultures are starting to kick rock pretty hard in the
Right.
50s. But it's still that doo-wop rock, right? You're getting a lot of like Motown kind of shit coming out of Detroit, and then you got fucking Chuck Berry is kicking his thing out of like New York, and then
Is Dingling?
his ding-a-ling, yes, and he wants you to play with it. you got all these great 1950s rock bands.
Sure.
And then coming out of England too, you fucking the Stones are starting to do stuff. The Beatles are starting to do stuff. Fucking Jeff Beck and the Yardbirds and shit like that.
Yeah, by the time you get to the 60s, it's very
right. So
rock and roll is very.
What's cool though is this is such a quick and sudden transition that like the musicians in Cambodia in the 50s, like teenagers and shit who want to like start listening to the cool stuff and playing the cool stuff, they can't get an electric guitar. They have to learn how to play this kind of shit on like violins.
Okay.
Right? Like the first instrument that really starts to kick in the 60s is fucking electric like keyboards.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They're doing organ stuff because that's usually used in church ceremonies. So they can access that. Then they're building their own electric guitars. They're building their own shit. And they're emulating these cool sounds. And it's like all these kids, right?
Right.
So
that's a thing in music. It's just
very much
a
so.
quick divergence is like we have all this gear in here, but a good way to write music is to limit yourself. Like I could make any sound on Ableton, right?
Right.
But some of the best stuff I do is like I set these certain parameters, which I'm doing artificially, but in the case of Cambodia at the time, they were using what they had.
Yeah,
but it's
very much
real
so.
thing, and it's
they have
often
traditional instruments and shit, which is cool because you can. There are a lot of. I'll cut a sample for one of these that'll show you. We'll like save a space here where you can put in a sample of them doing like cool 60s shit with traditional instruments. In Cambodia, they call it Ong Nyao.
You just made that up.
Yep. So anyway, so like that's what's going on. But at the same time, coming out of the 50s, one of the big things in music was like crooners. You know?
Oh yeah,
Elvis,
big time.
fucking Dean Martin, shit like that. Frank Sinatra, right? So the response to that in Cambodia was a guy named Sinn Sisamouth.
Okay.
Or Sisamouth, I think is his official pronunciation. But I want to say Sisamouth because that's what I've been reading. So Sinn Sisamouth.
Sounds like you're not going to say any of it. Sisyphus.
I was going to say, did he write a song about rolling a boulder up a hill and just to have it come crashing back down and then having to start all over and doing that for eternity?
That was another guy, I think.
Sinn Sisamouth.
Sinn Sisamouth was born on August 23rd, 1932 in the province of Stung Treng. His father was a prison official of Laos and Chinese ancestry, or Laotian and Chinese ancestry, while his mother was Khmer. From an early age, he displayed an extraordinary musical talent. He learned traditional instruments, but he was really, really fascinated by Western music, right? So unlike many future musicians, he initially pursued medicine. He attended medical school and he trained as a nurse before beginning a professional music career. The medical background had later become one of the really tragic ironies of his life, because even though the Khmer Rouge claimed to be building a society that served ordinary people, medical professionals were often targeted for extermination.
Which is insane.
It is crazy, right? So we don't need your stinky witch doctors. By the 1950s, Sisamouth was not a worldwide sensation, but like Southeast Asia, this guy was kind of top of the pops.
Okay.
Right? But he started out doing these like long croonings, right? Like I'll cut a sample. Okay. We'll do this right here.
For the sample, what I was speaking of is often called the limitation game, a colloquial term used by musicians, designers, and writers where they purposefully handicap their tools, e.g. using only a cheap limited synthesizer to force creativity. So that's what I was trying to say, that I intentionally do sometimes, but they were kind of forced to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just being minimalist.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, forcefully minimalized. You know?
Right, sure.
Okay, so this is one of Sinn Sisamouth's most popular songs, which is like 485,000 plays a month or something still.
Okay.
It's called Big Squiggle, Little Squiggle, N-U-N-U-N-U, Squiggle, Squiggle.
Oh, this will be removed by Spotify, probably.
Yes, probably.
It still sounds like
it's crooning.
It reminds me of Mr. Blue.
It's got a lot. It's very much that kind of thing, and that's where
Fleetwoods.
That was his fucking fucking I love my blue or whatever, you know.
It still reminds me of like especially even in China, like 50s and 60s sort of that musical influence.
It still kind of got that.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm like in China specifically, that music sort of started coming out of that area also.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe you guys, I don't know if you have any experience with this. My grandparents, at least, like my grandparents in the 50s and 60s or whatever, were stuffy fucking like Shriners and like Elk Lodge people, wear a fur coat to a smoke-filled hallway, and listen to some fucking jerk with a bow tie sing something into a shitty microphone, right? Like,
sure.
But that was classy, right? So that was like the music. Dusty thrift store records music,
Right.
Right, somewhere between Herb Albert and John Denver, right? You find these crooners.
Sure.
I want to think of another like a name, Robert Goulet-esque, another just a fucking backroom crooner.
Sure.
Anyway, Sinn Sisamouth had this really distinctive voice. It was really smooth, it was elegant, and really emotionally expressive. I think of him because he was referred to as the Elvis of Cambodia. I think of him more as a Tom Jones. Because he starts out classically, but as the times change, as things start to get a little more rock and roll coming up Western, he doesn't just stick with the same croony bullshit. He does not fucking Bing Crosby.
Okay.
He starts to get a little more swing with it. He starts to pair with cool people.
Okay.
Right. By the 1960s, he was Cambodia's most famous singer. And we're talking like millions of people listened to him.
Right.
He was insanely. He was like, they call him the Elvis of Cambodia because of his popularity.
This is before obviously the Khmer Rouge takeover.
Yeah, exactly. He was the soundtrack of this whole era for the most part, because he would be the main line of the music, and then all the rock and roll stuff would start happening under him as a little more subversive, right? And then he would start pairing with these more subversive characters, like Sereysothea was like maybe the second most popular singer in the country. I think of her as kind of like a Cher, right?
Okay.
She had sort of like a traditionalist career, and then things started getting a little more rockin', and then she's singing fucking Gypsy and Half-Breed and shit.
Okay.
It's like when Metallica teamed up with Lou Reed and did Lulu.
Gross.
Jesus.
Have you ever heard that shit?
So bad.
It's so fucking bad.
Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. So yeah, his catalog had thousands of songs, anywhere from like traditionalist Cambodian songs to more modernistic, rock and roll stuff by the end of his career, right? He was astonishingly versatile. One recording might be very Sinatra, another might be more like classical Khmer shit.
Knowing what's about to happen in Cambodia, I have this tremendous sense of foreboding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
About the projected life of Sinn Sisamouth.
Sisamouth. Well, okay, so
I am the table.
Or move on from Sinn Sisamouth. Fuck me.
It's not just me. Sisamouth.
Move on from Sinn Sisamouth for just a second. The second most popular singer was a woman named Sereysothea. She was born in 1948 in Battenberg province to a poor farming family. And unlike a lot of famous performers who came from artistic or urban backgrounds, she grew up working in the countryside. So she was actually from the agrarian societies that the Khmer Rouge would come from. Right? Accounts from family members and later biographers describe a childhood marked by poverty and hard labor. But she had this beautiful voice, and she would sing in the fields. So she was discovered only after friends persuaded her to enter a local singing competition in 1963.
That's adorable.
Yeah, but it's also sad because that gives her like a 1 decade, gives her 10 years.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, it is beautiful because she like got out of the farm and she moved to Phnom Penh and started becoming a very, very popular, and she's also like smoking hot. She was a very, very popular singer, mostly because at the time, Cambodia did not have many female celebrities.
Okay.
They didn't have many celebrities, period. Right? So a reoccurring story from her early life is that she sold food in local markets while dreaming of becoming a singer. The contrast between the humble beginnings and the yada, 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 yada.
Yeah, that's why I said that's an adorable story. I love that. Just the thought of like the other people in the fields, like listening to her sing, going, no, you should sing. And her being like,
absolutely.
No, enter this contest. No, I don't know.
When she moved,
you know what I mean? Like,
when she moved to Phnom Penh in the late 1960s, Cambodia was going through the cultural renaissance that Sihanouk had been pushing. So he's like, everybody music. Cambodian musicians were blending a lot of traditional Khmer stuff with like rock, soul, Latin music was a big deal.
Cool.
There was a lot of fucking like Zamrock shit coming out of Africa that people were getting down on. There's like cool shit happening.
Right.
By the time Roz comes in, like shit's already starting to pop. So she has only been raised on these like classical Cambodian melodies, you know, with her agrarian family. And now she comes in and she can like stretch her wings a little bit. She becomes kind of like just like a Diana Ross kind of thing, moving from like the classic Motowns to more disco.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, she's a fucking super rad. Here's a spot where I'll play some of Ross Sereysothea's stuff. We talked about this earlier. Chnam on Dop-Pram mui. I'm 16.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting demonetized.
I feel like I'm watching a Quentin Tarantino movie.
It's got a lot of Tarantino kind of shit. Tarantino mostly did like Chinese.
I was gonna say
pulls.
it doesn't have a lot of Tarantino. Tarantino has a lot of it.
What's fun
shit.
is like after the Vietnam War, Vietnam's got a lot of this kind of shit too.
Yeah.
You know, but like
100%.
a lot of cultural repression sort of destroys this sort of stuff. It's a fucking huge bummer. Yeah, she's just like super cool, and she and Sinn Sisamouth pair up at a certain point, and they start doing this cool like psychedelia.
Oh,
right?
that's cool as fuck.
It is super fucking cool. One of the most fascinating and lesser known aspects of Sothea's life is her association with the military during the Cambodian Civil War. Are you jerking that off over there?
I don't know what
You working your hog? You haven't even seen Sothea yet. According to multiple accounts, she became involved with members of the Khmer Republic Armed Forces and even participated in paratrooper exercises.
Damn.
A surviving film clip. There are films of all of this, by the way. This isn't like a lost.
Just jumping out of planes?
I mean, I'm talking everything we're talking about is on camera. Everything Sinn Sisamouth.
It's fine. We know who you're talking about.
A surviving film clip reportedly shows her parachuting from an aircraft, making one of the only known motion picture recordings of her specifically. This detail is important because it may have contributed to her danger after the Khmer Rouge victory. Khmer Rouge viewed many people connected to the former government as enemies and specifically targeted celebrities.
Oh, so wait, I thought you said she was doing this for the Khmer.
No, she was, the Khmer.
Oh, not the Khmer Rouge. I
right?
got you.
She was involved with members of the Khmer Republic Armed Forces.
Ah.
There are so many fucking great examples of this like rock and roll culture. And we're talking like to the nines, you know, they're rocking fucking Fenders and, like Stratocasters and matching jackets and boots. And they're doing dances and there's a bunch of cool shit. There's even one on here that I want to play maybe for the outro that's like kind of like a Dick Dale and his Deltones, sort of like guitar based Cambodian shit. It's fucking dope. I think my favorite singer that I found out of all this is a woman named Pen Ron. She was born in 1944, also in Battambang, which is where Sinn Sisamouth, yeah. Pen Ron emerged during the explosion of Cambodian popular music in the 60s. She became nationally famous after recording with Sinn Sisamouth and quickly developed a persona unlike any other major Cambodian singer. She was thought of as the bad girl of Cambodian rock.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? So, like, I think of her as a little bit of like a Madonna, kind of, because...
Well,
you got to figure... No, I know this is
right.
early. This is much earlier in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Joan Jett, maybe?
No, not Joan Jett.
Joan
Fuck,
Jett's-
Joan Jett sucks.
yeah.
I know,
doesn't.
sorry, that's bad. I'm more of a Chrissy Hind person, okay?
I mean, okay.
Okay. I think Joan Jett ripped off Chrissy Hind. I will always stand by that. Anyway, she's kind of like the other side of the coin to Roz Sereysothea. You know, she's the bad girl. She's a little sexualized. She's got a little like, there's just like a mischief about her. And in fact, I found a sample in one of these songs. The song is called "It's Nothing to Be Ashamed of."
Mm-hmm.
Right? That where I think she pulls something that I would never have heard in a contemporary American song. So I'm going to play it. There are some great songs on here, by the way. The titles for some of these are great. I love this one. Dying Under a Woman's Sword is a good name for a...
Tight. That's how I always wanted to die.
Sinn Sisamouth did a cover of Hey Jude by the Beatles.
Huh.
Here's this probably my favorite title for a song reminds me of my wife because it just sounds angry. It's called I Will Starve Myself to Death.
There was one you said earlier that was like something about an old pot still cooks rice good.
Yeah, that's a Roz Sereysothea song.
Oh, really?
This old pot still cooks good rice.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's everybody knows.
I can relate.
Everyone knows what they're talking about.
So
this old pot.
My favorite pot to cook rice in is it's the only thing I use it for because it's not good for shit else.
No, she's talking about her vagina, buddy.
Oh,
it's a sex song.
I was talking about rice. I thought she wasn't the bad girl. I thought she was.
No,
the good girl.
no. That's exactly. It's tongue in cheek. This whole pot still cooks good rice. You know, that's a little more of like, hey, mama. Mm. I think we all know what that was. It was a simulated orgasm. A song from 1961. It's pretty fucking pretty cool.
I feel like I have heard that more contemporary.
More
times.
contemporary. I think Chapel Rowan does it on a song.
Yeah.
Fucking
I mean,
cool.
maybe she was just feeling the music.
Maybe she nutted right there.
Well, her songs,
in the recording booth.
Her songs are all about like female desire, romantic frustration.
Oh, okay.
You know,
well then probably.
Yeah, like that's her whole thing. It's like it's fuck music. Like Penron was all about fuck music. I mean, like she's just a good singer in general.
We all need,
but like
we all need fuck music.
It's like, you know, well, who's a good example of like, you know, she could sing anything, but generally it's like Katy Perry or some shit. Like generally it's going to be like kind of tongue in cheek. She does suck. Don't get me wrong. But like her songs are all fucking innuendos.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a little like cheek to it. You know, there's better ones. Chapel Rowan's probably a better impersonation or fucking comparison.
Example.
Yeah, example. That's it. Words.
Words is hard.
Words is hard. Okay, so I wanted to bring all these characters up, and I really, really think that everyone listening should take a minute, just take a fucking minute, and like go on whatever your program that you're listening to on, and look up.
Riley, why don't you make a playlist? And I'm pretty sure we can link it through our Spotify and
That's
our
great.
YouTube.
I will do that. We'll put it in the description for the episode. Yeah, cool. There's a lot of really great stuff. But also, if you want to deep dive this a little bit more, because there are a shitload of great fucking artists and bands that came out of this time period, and they were all killed. Hundreds and thousands of people. All of them were executed by the Khmer Rouge.
So everybody we just talked about.
Every single person. But we have some more anecdotal stuff there.
Okay.
Like that story is not necessarily over yet. There's a moment that I'll talk about.
Oh.
But there's a movie that's on YouTube and Tubi. There's a movie that's on YouTube and Tubi. Whose cock was so long you could suck it, right? That was like there's a movie that you can find on YouTube or Tubi. It's called Don't Think I've Forgotten, Cambodia's Lost Rock and Roll. Or Don't Think I've Forgotten, Cambodia's Lost Rock and Roll. It is fucking amazing. It's about an hour and 40 minutes long. It's a really, really beautiful deep dive and way more informative than I can be at all, generally. But there's also a playlist on Spotify, at least. Don't use Spotify. Spotify's bad. But if you can look that up on a different streaming platform, it's got a lot of the songs that I just talked about on here. So I guess now is the part where we talk about how all these people died.
Yay.
Right. Yay.
It's what I've been waiting for.
Put me through this after that Harold Ramis thing, man.
Yeah. The thing about the Cambodian genocide is that the hammer fell quick. People got evacuated or shot in the street or shot in the field or macheted often very, very fast. Yeah, if there weren't bullets, there are rocks, there are knives, there are all sorts of things.
Jesus.
It was a bloody and horrifying situation that I don't even have the ability to fucking break down that far.
How do you get behind that if you're just a grunt? You know what I mean? Like
because you're fighting for a better world. The people in front of you that you're killing are being killed so that the world can be better. It's that simple.
Yeah, I don't know that I could be convinced of that.
I mean, yeah, but you also haven't been starved fucking sitting in piss and mud in the fucking jungle if you're alive. You know? Fuck.
Sure.
I mean, you gotta figure a lot of the people in these agrarian societies are still, this is like I said, it's like a permaculture. They're the same that they've been for 2,000 years. Right? Fucking people in the cities are demons. Go kill them. Fucking pretty straightforward. And not to minimize, I mean, they're obviously human beings. They have their own thoughts and agency and shit like that. But like when you get wrapped up in a theological or ideological issue like this, and somebody hands you a fucking machete, you chop somebody. It's that easy. Yeah. Anyway, so Penran disappeared during the years of the Cambodian genocide. The exact circumstances of her death remain uncertain. This uncertainty is really common among Khmer Rouge victims. Her sister later suggested that Penran survived well into the Khmer Rouge period and may not have died until the regime's final months in 1978 or 1979.
Jesus.
A frequently repeated story claims Khmer Rouge cadres tricked her into performing one of her songs and then executed her afterwards. It's a pretty powerful story. And
that's horrible.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
Yeah, this isn't a fun wrap up on this story, honestly.
Should I put in the wet squelching sound after?
No, I don't think so. Unlike many historical figures, Ross Sereysothea's final years are really uncertain. Several competing stories exist. There's always this story of like, oh, she got to sing one last song. Like that's going to be in all of these people's stories for the most part. One account suggests she was identified soon after the Khmer Rouge takeover and then executed because of her fame. Another claims she concealed her identity for a time while working in rural labor camps. Yet another says she was forced to sing revolutionary songs, like the songs of the Khmer Rouge, and eventually compelled to marry a Khmer Rouge officer. Some versions conclude with her execution in 1977. Others suggest she survived until the collapse of the regime in 79, but died from starvation and illness. So whatever it is, sucks, right? But
yeah, none of those are happy endings.
None of those are happy endings. And, well, I mean, the one that really hits me, actually, is Sinn Sisamouth.
Okay.
Right? I mean, obviously, the story of those two women is as tragic as anything. But Sinn Sisamouth is... Fuck my ass. Sinn Sisamouth is just such like a pinnacle figure in all of this.
Just call him Sin.
Sin. So Sin is such like a big figure in all of this. Is a really famous story that Sinn Sisamouth himself was granted permission to sing one last song before execution, which is a lot different than being tricked, and it's a lot different than being forced, right?
It's, we're going to kill you. You can do one last song if you like.
And they don't have any sort of a record of what he sang or what the circumstance was, if he was on a stage, if he was in a field, if he was blindfolded, if he was on his knees.
Mm-hmm.
But like that moment to me is so powerful. Like, I mean, for all I know, the truth of the story is that somebody fucking hit him with a rock and was like, sing something, bitch, and then murdered, like something horrible. Like maybe he cried and begged in the mud. I don't choose to think that that's what happened. Like, to me, the moment that you're given permission to sing a song, especially after having been the voice of the entire country for years upon years, like unbelievable fame and respect. And by all accounts, a fucking pretty cool dude too. And a progressive guy. Like, do you sing a song you sang with your grandmother? Do you sing your wife's favorite song? Do you sing a song you sang with your kids? Like, what would you do?
I'm singing the hits, baby.
This one goes back to 1962. It's my most popular record.
I'm going to freestyle. I'm going to be like, fuck the Khmer Rouge. They all can eat my poos. Like, I'm gonna freestyle some shit.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know.
And I'll go until they shoot me.
But like in that movie,
but I'm a stubborn bastard.
The whole thing about this story that has always struck me is that it's an unbelievably cinematic story. Unbelievably cinematic. Yes. Because the thing that really drove me to all of this was, some musicians would like hide their instruments and they came back for it after the revolution. Some would perform privately, quietly, in fucking farmhouses and shit to people that just wanted a little something. Uh-huh. Like there's so much involved in the power of the music with all of this kind of shit. One thing that I always go back to in my head is like a really swinging fucking rock and roll party that gets, picked up, like busted into by revolutionaries with guns and a bunch of people getting fucking gunned down, dancing to the golden oldies.
That's insane.
Dude, it's just such an overarching horror. And I just keep coming back to it. Like, what would I sing if I was? I mean, I can't really sing for shit, but like, if there was one thing, is it a song that you were writing this whole time? Is it your fucking I hope upon hope he sang his favorite song to sing.
Yeah,
that was just for him. That was the best thing that he could do. And then
you got to also look at it from the point of like you're like put on the spot too. So you know what I mean? Like like you don't have a lot of time to think like, well, what was my favorite? What was my wife's favorite song? What was my what was this? What was So it's got to be something that is particularly powerful to him, which might have been his wife's favorite song. It might have been a song he sang with his kids. Might have been his favorite song. Might have been a song that he sang at the best show that he ever did and got the most applause. Whatever it was that was particularly impactful to him, at least if I'm putting myself in his shoes, that would sort of be where I went with it. But I mean,
it's just like...
Or freestyle. That's...
Well, it's like to just... How to say... I mean, what to say? I'll just let that one ride. I'll say that, like...
Fuck the Police by NWA.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Fuck the Pol Pot.
Hell yeah.
I mean, like...
Fuck the Pol Pot. Straight from the underground.
That would be hilarious. Unfortunately, it was about a decade too early for that one. Not yeah.
Well, it depends on when. Was early 90s.
When was he executed?
The idea is 1978-ish.
Okay.
So he spent some time in a work camp, and he was very fucking famous. So don't really know if he got good treatment or worse treatment, but they kept him alive for a while.
We know he for sure died.
Yes, he was for sure executed.
I choose to believe that the other ladies are still out there, like Elvis and Tupac.
That would be cool. Because there are
Agartha.
If you watch the documentary, there are some women that were contemporaries that survived. You know, so like hate to comment on the particular horrors that women in the situation would have to go through, you know, other than just being executed. So fingers crossed, anything good happened. You know, with Penron being tricked into performing something, like I would just prefer it if she just said no, not for you. You don't.
I mean, yeah,
you don't get to hear it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, again, but if unlike with Sinn Sisamouth, got it. Unlike with Sinn Sisamouth, he was told, okay, you're going to die. You can sing one more. What was she told? She may have come in thinking like, okay, like the worst of it's over.
Right.
You know, we can get back to some semblance of normalcy, I guess. She might have thought, hey, I'm just going to do this.
I'm just going to do one. I'm going to do like a good one.
And then she does
been a while,
it. And then,
you know?
and then Jesus, fuck, dude.
Yeah. This whole story is so cinematic in your head. It has no choice but to be. But it's also a period piece. So it's like,
yeah,
you know, whatever you think, you can look at all the footage. I highly recommend watching the documentary because it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But like,
I feel like I'm probably
Did you just say this?
that.
Did you just reference Stained and then say this is also cinematic? Like within the same sentence?
What do you mean?
You said it's been a while.
I did not. I said like, okay, like she's fucking, all right, it's been a while since I've sang something. I didn't reference Stained.
You reference Stained on like every other episode.
The
though.
fuck? No. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yes, you do. Oh my
What
God.
a dark
I'm gonna
moment.
I'm going to go make a fucking compilation of you.
How dare you?
How
fucking dare you? You think that I would besmirch this moment? I worked hard for this, okay? I will say, all right, so one more little thing that I think is interesting is that there are other stories of other singers in other camps. And I've got this one in particular, a man named Skom Sereysothea, who belligerently and aggressively at one point, sure that he was going to be shot for some sort of slight in a work camp, sang a Sinn Sisamouth song loudly at the guards because music was outlawed in rebellion. But he just got transferred.
Really?
Yeah. I like to think it's because those are people guarding
strong
them.
work ethic.
I think it's those guards were people and they were like, oh shit, Sinn Sisamouth. I like that.
Well, but then why wouldn't they keep him there and be like, hey, sing
No, because he was belligerent. He was fucking, they were like, we'd have to fucking kill him. Like we'd have to kill him in front of everybody. All we can do is disappear him and he just got transferred out. They were like, don't fucking shoot him, just send him out. And I like to think that's because of the song.
And he definitely survived. Like he definitely made it through the...
Yeah. He was interviewed in 2024.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the Death in Cambodia podcast.
Well, they can make a podcast for anything these days.
Dude, look at this guy. He looks like he's like 50. He's Cambodian, so probably well preserved.
60s.
Yeah, maybe 60s.
Yeah, good for him.
Anyway, that's the story. 1980, the Cambodian Khmer Rouge Empire fell to Viet Cong forces.
Really?
Yeah, and along with a couple other things, but that's a whole other story.
Well, the music was cool.
Dude, there is some cool shit. I'm actually, all right, so going to round it out with one more. So this is a band called Baksey Cham Krong, And the song is it's just B.C.K. It was Baksey Cham Krong.
Oh yeah, I have a Baksey Cham Krong t-shirt at home.
Hey, Future Drew here. I looked for this. Riley didn't spell it and he won't get back to me. So we're just going to use the shitty version that he put on his phone, but hopefully we can put it in the description later or something. Thanks.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Again, it's got a very like something you would hear in like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Well, yeah,
got a very,
Tarantino's
like,
obsessed with this time period.
Yeah, it's got a very like 70s twangy psychedelic sort of drivey. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, I wanted to bring all this shit up and talk about it a little bit because they were all massacred, dude. Like all of them. The entire legacy of this entire culture was just fucking destroyed, except for people who have been, just fucking sent to the four corners of the earth.
Right. People who managed to hide or
but
somehow get lucky.
The music is rad. And the thing that hits me the most is that like
the music is still there. Thankfully.
Music is still there, right? Because it was physical copies and they couldn't fucking destroy all of it. The thing that hits me about this is that usually when I think of situations like this, whether it's the fucking Holocaust in World War II or, I don't know, the fucking Armenian genocide, shit like that, it's oftentimes very abstract for me and it's really hard to put my head around it. And then I hear these guys rocking out and I fucking rock out.
You hear some shit that people actually played, people actually sang. And
and more than that, just like...
It connects you through time a little more or something.
And it's fucking rad is the thing that...
Well, yeah, and it's good.
Like, that's what hit me so much is like, this shit's dope.
I think it...
Maybe that sounds like, I don't know, mercenary in a way to be like, well, I like them more because their music's good.
I
but
think
like,
it makes it... I think the thing that's impactful is that it makes it more real because we've talked about on the podcast, like some of our episodes that we feel at least are some of the better ones are the ones that are a little bit more story driven, a little bit more like
more about dicks, balls, butts, boners.
Yeah.
A little, just have a little bit more of that like human feel.
Well, something to connect to.
You know what I'm talking about? Human feel, like human mouth feel?
Yeah. Something to connect to.
Why are you doing this?
B.C.K, and the recent one.
Battle of Athens was really
Battle of Athens is cool.
Bill White, yeah.
Yeah, there's just...
Bob White? Bill White.
Bill White. There's just I don't know. It all comes across as information that you can sort of like disconnect yourself from. But then with music, I don't know, there's just a little bit more of a visceral thing about it. And then everything sort of becomes connected, and then you kind of put yourself in that situation a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's how my brain operates, at least.
I mean, mostly it's just fucking, I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird because I think of history without emotion for the most part, even though we talk about it so like abstractly. But like I'm listening to some of this shit on my drive home today. It was like really nice out, and I'm driving down A1A, and it's like, I get the beach scrub and like there's a national park, right? Is Guana State Park?
Yeah.
State Park to the right and then ocean to the left. And it just got this fucking 50s kind of Cambodia kind of feel to it.
And that's it. That's a cool drive too.
It's a cool drive. And just like the music, and it's so good. It's so hopeful and it's so like fun. And
except for you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and likely that, after one song ends, the next one won't load.
It's just going to cut out. Yeah.
The next one won't load because there's no
reception out there.
Very good.
But
reception.
like just like being able to do that drive and hear this music and like really dig on it, and I was enjoying it, and then it hit me like, oh, all these people were fucking massacred.
Yeah,
and that almost made me cry.
Like I said, I think that's the part that kind of
because I'm a big pussy bitch, as Drew just said.
I didn't say anything.
I heard you. I heard what you said.
I just looked at you.
In his brain, I heard him call me a big pussy bitch.
In any case, everybody, please look up the documentary.
We'll link
say the name of it again.
The documentary is called Old Pot Still Cooks Good Rice. No. The documentary is called Don't Think I've Forgotten.
We'll throw that in the description. We can throw playlists in the description.
And actually, if you want to leave it out, here's the song, Don't Think I've Forgotten.
Well, if you liked our story of those horrific events, the best way to let us know is...
I made some dick jokes in there.
At the very end when I was talking. Because you
Dicks, butts,
can't,
balls, boobs,
because you
boners.
can't help yourself. If you like that telling of
help
that
myself.
story, you can, the best way to let us know, get on whatever you're listening to, whatever platform you're streaming on. Give us 5 stars. If you are on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review and a rating. It helps out tremendously. If you're on Spotify, leave us a comment.
Get off Spotify. Spotify sucks.
If you're on Spotify, leave us a comment on this episode or any other episode that you liked. Check us out on Instagram at Delete Everything Podcast. Check us out on YouTube at Delete Everything Podcast. And check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Delete Everything Podcast, where you'll get a shit ton of bonus episodes. And those episodes all have video connected to them as well.
Not all, no.
Many
of them.
Many of those episodes have video footage on that as well. And
If you know what I'm saying.
and we've got
Dicks, butts, balls, and boners.
we've got 3 of those
Got
unlocked to
some
the public.
York footage.
We've got 3 of those unlocked to the public if you want to listen before you commit to that, because, maybe you're like, I don't know. But I promise it's worth it. It's fun times. What do we talk about today?
What did we talk about today?
Who knows what the fuck we talked
Just
about.
talked
We
about
Riley's horrible schedule. And
I think the episode is called Jesus Uncircumcises You.
that's right. Is that what you guys named it?
Something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
That's what Riley threw out there.
Yeah.
Gotta let him name one every
That
once in a
was
while.
that was a part in there. Oh, boy. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
I will point out next week I think will be a fun one. Maybe
Next
not
week
as
will
much
be a fun
horrific
one.
murder.
You guys
and
didn't have fun?
Next week will be
it
a
was
fun
fun.
one.
It was a little sad.
Next
Rock it
week
out.
will be
The year one thing made me really sad.
100%. Next week will be 100% murder free. I can guarantee that.
I mean, you can't guarantee anything.
On my end,
Riley might keep doing that throat clearing thing, and then yeah.
and then he gets murdered on air.
You might have heard that. That was my knife clicking. No murders, you say.
Jesus Christ. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.
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 I didn't need to know that. Human noises. That's what I tell myself so I don't kill you.